last thing I want to get into here on the pod. It was really nice to see Sekou in that first half versus Denver get back into rhythm and be involved on the offensive end. 17 first half points. His final count, though, was 17. Really was deferring, not as active offensively in the second half. I mean, he was playing minutes. He was out on the floor, out through the fourth quarter and stuff, but just never put points on the board. He had a couple of passes that got tipped away, a couple he dropped. But it was nice to see in the first half a very assertive Sekou Doumbouya, and these talks of him going to the G League hopefully just wither away.
Yeah, definitely not a thing that needs to happen. I get that Dwayne Casey not playing him against Toronto to give him a day in game to just breathe, just watch the game and focus on watching and learning rather than having to be ready to go out and play. I can get that. I can get behind that. That's fine. But sending him down to the G League when you're as bad of a team as you are, that would just be a terrible decision. Let him struggle on the main roster. And when he's, obviously he's not always going to struggle because he goes out against Denver and puts up 17 in the first half and helped lead the Pistons back into the game in the first half.
Right.
So that talks of him going down to the G League are just, it's buffoonery.
It's not infuriating.
Yeah.
He is a guy that needs to be involved. You saw that today. For the past, week and a half or so that he's been struggling, 2 weeks, whatever it's been, he has been very passive, but the team hasn't been involving him in the slightest on the offense. Today, he was active, he was being involved, he was more ball dominant in a sense, and that is when Sekou thrives. He needs to be a part of it. It's not just him standing in the corner. That is not his game. That is not going to get him developed. That's not going to get his mind into the game. That's what he needs, to be a part of the offense. Honestly, it has been infuriating the past 2 weeks watching him play, and it's not necessarily his fault because he has not been involved in the slightest by his teammates. They're basically playing 4-on-5 on offense the last 2 weeks with him in there because they don't even look at him.
Right.
That's what was so infuriating. And you saw today the change. He was involved more. His teammates got him involved, and Sekou was infinitely better. Now in the second half, you saw the younger player in him come out. He definitely deferred a lot more. And that'll come with time. Him taking over the game, him getting that confidence, that's going to continue to build over time. He's still the youngest player in the league. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is getting him involved, to make him
100%.
comfortable, to get him growing, and that is what needs to happen. And that's what happened in the first half.
If Sekou is involved and he's aggressive and assertive on offense, we've seen how good he can be. How talented the kid is. So you just have to hope, those G League conversations are done. That does not get brought up again because that's just idiotic, to say the least. And who knows? Maybe Sekou will lead Detroit on a charge back to relevance, and they'll buy at the deadline, and Sekou will play in the playoffs. Oh.
Stop it. Stop it.
Fight for the 8th seed.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Detroit Pistons, the city where we fight for the 8th seed. Back-to-back years. That would be terrible. So, that being said, boys, anything else? It's kind of the deadline's upon us. We've talked the deadline. There's really not many other storylines to talk about with the team right now. It's just, that's kind of where we stand on things.
We talked about the deadline for months because of how these trade talks have started. So we've been talking about this stuff since the beginning of January.
And it's finally upon us. Finally.
Next podcast is where things could potentially get crazy.
Or be dull because they did nothing.
I want to say buckle up, but it sounds like this trade deadline could be very boring.
Just make sure your seatbelt's accessible.
Just be ready. Just be ready. Just in case.
Just have a hand on it,
Yeah, just in case. That's all.
You don't got to buckle it in, though. It's a quick ride.